Hello, Gadget Man here, and welcome back to part 2 of our construction paper rocket build of what I call the Sphere XPR29A3-4T rocket. And if you're wondering or not wondering what the XPR means, it means Experimental Paper Rocket. The 30 stands for the inches in length, and the A3-4T is the rocket engine that'll be used in this rocket model. The main reason why I'm making these rockets out of construction paper is to make them big and extremely light so we could fly them on small rocket engines. For most of us who can't really afford these big, high-powered, expensive rockets, I've come up with this idea so I can fly large size rockets with cheap motors for just pennies on the dollar. You won't break any altitude or speed records with this rocket, but what it makes up for is a lower altitude flight. You'll be able to see it take off slow, and when it approaches apogee, you can see it turning over, the puff of white smoke to separate the nose cone from the sustainer, and you can see the parachute unroll and open up, and it floats slowly to the ground. Also, I might recommend not flying this rocket in wind. It should be on a windless day, unless you like to take a long hike. Okay, now I'll show you what tools you'll need to build this rocket. First off, we have this ruler. I kind of like wood rulers, but they kind of get cut up with X-Acto blade using that. I'm kind of old school in that respect, but a metal ruler would be better. Get those anywhere. And an X-Acto blade. It's an X-Acto blade. That's what they call them. They got different names for them now. But you'll need a good sharp one of these. Be a good idea to get some calipers so you can really get some accurate measurements, which you'll need in this model. Alrighty. Of course, gonna need the pencil sharpener, just like that. Keep your pencils razor sharp. And it'll be handy to have one of these fingernail files. And a piece of sandpaper. I use a small, like a 80 grit. This makes some things you need to do fast. Okay. Burnishing block. I use sugar pine because it's so soft and it won't damage this stuff. You'll need this to, like when we shape the rocket. Okay, and we'll make a gluer. This is to apply the glue in an accurate way and clean. You'll see how that's done later. Pair of scissors. Make sure the scissors you buy are really high quality, so when you cut the paper, it don't just chew it up. It just makes a perfectly straight cut. Okay, a compass. You're going to need one of those. I like the kind where you could just put lead in here. I usually take one of these pencils and I take a knife and chop that lead out of there, a nice little piece, and I insert it right in the compass. And you can get these practically anywhere too for a good price. Next, a protractor so we can get our angles right in case, you know, for making the templates, and we're gonna need this. Protractor. A calculator you might need, but if I made the drawings right, I think I made those drawings right, so maybe you won't need it. Masking tape, gonna need some of that. And this stick here, this is a 5/8 inch diameter dowel. Yeah, about 18 inches long. I think you ought to make this 2 feet long. So when you're building and assembling the rocket and sliding the tubes on here, it'll hold it down and stuff really nice while you're assembling the bulkheads on there, which we'll get into at a later video. And last but not least, well, you gotta have the glue. A little glue bottle with a sharp point on it, like that, so you can get some accurate gluing done, so it won't make a mess. I don't know what to tell you about this. I got this at Hobby Lobby in the paint section, oil paints and things like that. Get a little pack of these. They're really cheap. Any glue bottle you can get that has a real narrow end like this will come in handy and make things a lot easier building. It's got some glue in there. Anyway, last but not least, you need a hair trimmer. Why a hair trimmer? Well, if you're building your rocket model and somebody walks in on you, you want to have your hair trimmed and nice and neat so you look good while you're building your rocket. Just kidding. Have to edit that out. Yeah, one final note is, it's all these measurements in all these parts that you're going to cut out. Try and be really perfect in the measurements. That way all the parts you're making will fit together after they're assembled. If you're off a little bit or whatever, you're going to have really a lumpy, bumpy rocket, you know. Building this model will definitely test your skills. Okay then, without further ado, let's get started on this model build. If you have any questions, you could leave me a message in the comments section down below, and I'll try and answer your questions about this build. Okay, let's get started. Okay, here's that construction paper I was telling you about. Extremely lightweight. Works really good for making this and many other kind of models. Okay, gotta lay that down there like that. And we are going to make our measurements. Okay, if you look at the drawing, number 2. I'll show that to you real quick here. Okay, you'll see the engine tube, sheet A. That's what we're gonna make here first. Okay, let's see. I need that. Where'd my pencil go? Okay. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, let's see, the first measurement is 12. So this sheet of paper, the 12 by 9s are not exactly 12 by 9, just short of 12, but we'll go ahead and use that anyway. Okay, now a real important measurement here is the width, which is 4.875. Okay, it's not that important, but we'll just get it really close. Okay, so I'm going to set this to 4.18.5. Okay, I don't know if you could see that, but the calipers, and make sure that's nice and tight. This will get used to using these. There's some other parts, the skins and things, that are going to take a lot more accuracy than this piece. So, got 4 inches, 0.185. Okay, and that's going to be the width. Okay, I'm going to hold this down. Get these all the way up there. If you look right over here, I'm going to butt that right up against there. Be as accurate as you can. Make sure this is straight this way. Okay, now here's a trick. Once you get that there, don't move, but apply pressure right here so it won't move. Now you can take your eye off of that. You could even lift it up and put a mark right there. Okay, now you do the same thing down here at the other end. Just like that. Okay. And we are going to draw that line. Remember before I showed you on the other video? Let's make that sharper. Oh, that was good. I think this pencil got damaged. Should use a new pencil. Boy, I don't like that pencil. It's not the brand. I think it got crushed in the drawer. If you bend these pencils, it makes the lead inside of them break. Okay. A little sharper. If it breaks again, maybe there's something in the, or that blade is just no good. Okay, there we go. Nice and sharp. Okay, put the pencil on that line there. And I take it off. I'm going to see what that looks like. There's a distance between that and the edge of the ruler. So what I want to do is make that mark look like this one. And you probably have a little trouble seeing that. Okay, I just slightly moved it. Let's get the ruler so it goes all the way across. Where is that thing? Okay, it moved on me. Let's see. Okay, now, gotta hold down on the ruler really hard. You don't want to have the ruler slip. Okay, there's the first sheet. Okay, now, we already got this set. And I come over here. When I'm putting this on there, there's a width to this pencil line. Okay, put this thing dead center of that line. We're just getting you ready to get used to making some accurate marks. Okay, and then go like that, center of the pencil line. It has a width to it. Okay, just like before. Okay, put the pencil on there like that. Butt that up there. Make sure the angle of this is important. Whatever angle you have that, make it the same exact. I'm going to line this other side up so it looks the same. Okay, don't change the angle of that because it'll make the line crooked. Okay, I'm holding down that ruler for all dear life. Okay, when I'm running that ruler down, I'm rotating the pencil to keep it sharp. It's off there a little bit, but I'm not worried about these pieces. Okay, next sheet, we got one more piece to make. Get another one of these. I like to use yellow because yellow is easy to see all the lines and all that. If you use like dark colors, dark blue or black or something, you're gonna like put these lines on there, you're not gonna see it. When you're all done, you can paint it any color you want. Same old thing here, like that. Try and save as much paper as possible. Okay, I'm going to hold this down. See it curved? That'll ruin your measurement too. Okay, you know what to do there, like that. Okay, just like this. Go like this. I think this next piece is 5.5 inches long. Okay, so I'm going to come and do this. Save a little bit of that paper. I don't know why that's happening. There's some inaccuracy about something I'm doing, but that is intolerable when we do the skins and some of these other pieces. That'll make the part come out totally wrong. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, now, if you look on the drawing here, that's the piece where I'm laying out right now. These are not the scales, so it don't look like that. So it's a 12 inches, a 4, this and that. You can look on your drawing. So this one's 5.5, just to make sure that was correct. So, wish they put and make this exact. Now here's where you need to be exact. Okay, 5.5. Make a line over there. Not a line, a tick mark. Make sure the ruler's straight. If you have it crooked, then it'll make the dimension incorrect. Okay. I know you can't see this on the camera, but it's easier for me. If you have that pencil where this edge right here is at least straight up, you have the pencil laying up against the ruler. If it's like this, it's pulled away. So it's better to have that straight up and down, or even back a little bit like that. So, okay, like before. Okay, now we got that tick mark right up against the edge. I make sure that whatever this is, it looks exactly like that. Okay, so this has to be really accurate, and as you can see, that was perfect. Okay, now we cut the parts out using our handy dandy X-Acto blade. Okay, this is really important, this one. So again, I don't know if you could see the ruler moving. It's like, well, you know what? You don't even need the ruler. If you're good, okay, I'm pressing through the paper into this mat. It's made for cutting. And just cut right down the middle of the line. Takes a little practice. And of course, you hold your breath doing that. Okay. Let's just define that a little bit. This pencil line, if I magnified that line under a microscope, the line might kind of look something like that, okay? And when you're cutting or measuring or anything, every cut in this model, if you want the most accuracy, should be right down the center of that line. And then you'll know you'll be right on. Okay? Here's a trick I'll show you. That pencil line, it indents the paper. And look at that, it folds. It folds right along that line like magic. So I could just take my finger now, I'm gonna go the other way. Like that. Okay, where'd that... God, it's just like sandpaper. Okay, here's a trick. Instead of cutting it, and you want a perfectly straight line, you could take, I'll show you how to do this better. Just sand on that edge a little bit. Now, it should tear really, really perfect along there. Here we go, that's that one. I like that edge to be a little fuzzy, so it won't leave some sharp edge on the part. And we're going to start rolling this end and then have this on the outside. Okay, and once again, we're going to cut this. Get this out of here. All right. Right down the center of the line. Kind of hard to see. I'm just showing you how to use this X-Acto blade. We could actually fold that and then just cut it off that way in this case. Okay. Coordination. Keep it with the light on there. Okay. On this one, I'm just going to show you this other deal again. Okay, note that the grain of the paper, this is really important, the grain of the paper is going this way, so it bends really easy, that's how you can tell, but this way it's like stiff, and when you try and roll the paper this way, it really comes out ugly, and it makes it hard, makes it really hard, so just save yourself a lot of pain, and really make sure the grain of the paper is on there. Let's see if I can show you a different trick making it easier. Okay, I put that right there. I don't know if you could see that or not. Let's see. Okay, and I'm going to lay the ruler on top of that. Okay, pretty close, just like that. Now I'm going to take the sandpaper. I wonder what happened to my other sandpaper. It was an 80 grit, and what I would do is just take the paper and go across there like 10 times. I'll just for demonstration's sake. Maybe I could be right-handed. Okay. Okay, hold it down really tight so it don't move. It would be easier with the 80, but just for the sake of demonstrating this, okay. You can fold this over on the other side, the other way. Fingernail it like that. and sand on that edge on this side. Use the coarse. Yeah, this isn't going to work really good because it's a fingernail file, but for some reason I lost my 80 grit, but I'll have to find that here. Alright, so now you just give it a good tear, bend it like this, okay, and then it just comes right apart. Now we got all three of these parts. We are ready to glue this up. Where the heck did that sandpaper go? And yeah, my legs are falling asleep again. Okay, now it's time to get this stick. Let's get this stuff out of the way. We don't need any of that anymore. Okay, let's make the small one first so you can practice. Okay, get the glue ready. I'm going to use this bigger glue bottle because other little glue I showed you is almost out of glue. There's our fuzzy edge. So I like to go across here like that. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to roll this up. You're not going to glue anything. You see that? It's a little crooked. And all you have to do is kind of tweak it a little bit, unroll it. This edge right here is just barely tucked under. Okay? Let's see if I got that right. Nope, just a little bit farther. Okay. A little patience. Okay. Then I'm going to do this for a minute. It's just a motor tube, so back it off a little bit. Don't take your hand off that now. Okay, we're going to just put a little bit of glue on there. Not much. We're to keep the weight down on here. Just take your finger, go like that once, okay, and then just roll it up. And then we'll burnish it down. Yes, the dirt on your fingers are going to get on here. This part ain't going to show. Okay, that's a motor tube. Okay, don't make that so tight that you can't get that off of here. It's a little bit tight. Okay, something else about this paper. Don't get it wet. If your hands got water on them or something, don't you dare touch this paper. It'll warp it. We have to keep our hands dry until this model is done and we can get paint or something on it. Okay. Okay, now we take our burnishing block. I think the glue is about dry, so I use minimum amount of glue. So it dries faster, keeps the weight down. You don't need a ton of glue. You like make that solid glue in that tube. When it dries, it'll shrink and you'll never get it off this tube. Okay, I'm burnishing this down, so when I pull that off, it should stay pretty round. Okay, there's one. See that? Okay, now we're going to take the next sheet, do the same thing. Where's that sharp edge? Okay, oop, I found my 80. It's underneath my knee. Okay, a little tricky. Okay, roll that up. All you have to do is look at one side. You can see it's not quite right. Back it off a little bit and then tweak it. Doesn't take much, just a little. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, give it a little roll. The other one was a little bit tight, so let's make this one a little bit looser. That means less pressure on there, but it's up against that stick. Okay. Usually I put another piece of paper. This don't have to be absolutely perfect. You need a scrap piece to wipe your glue off the finger and then roll it up. You could sit there and rock this back and forth for like 10 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right on the edge where that paper is, right underneath there. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, you can see right here it's lifted a little bit. That means there's no glue there. So you take this little gluer and do something here. Use that paper through the whole build just for this purpose. Okay, put a little bit of glue on there. Here's how you use the gluer. Okay, if you look really close, I'm going to draw a little bead on there like that. And then I'm going to shove it up under there. Okay, like that. Push it this way. Then back and forth. Okay, now I got glue underneath there. I don't know if you got that. And it glued perfectly. Glued it down. Make sure you wipe the end of that off like that. Okay, alrighty. Now, the old burnisher. As I'm doing that, be careful. Don't go off the edge here with it, because when you come back, it'll rip that. You know, just go up to the edge of it. Real important. Otherwise, you're going to have to make another one. As you can see, the paper's getting a little more shiny. Like that. Come back here. And I'm just rotating this stick as I'm going back and forth. Okay. There's the mailman.
Morning.
Morning. Okay, rotate this around. Get this side. See, I'm going to start at that seam, so when I'm rotating this, it's like, oh, when do I stop? Well, when you get to the other side of that line. Not the line, it's a glue joint. Like that. Finish off right back here. Okay, there, this one comes off easier. And then we got this tube. Next. Okay. Okay, the hard piece of paper is down here. The fuzzy lines at the top. Okay. Whoa, am I good or am I good? Okay, roll that over a couple of times. Okay. Don't let it come loose. If you think it did, start over again. Okay. Come on, glue out of the bottle. Wipe your finger on that scrap paper and then immediately roll it over. If it's hot and dry outside, man, you got to be fast doing some of this because it'll dry faster than you can get to it. Rock it a little bit. Come over here. Yeah, we got to get underneath some of that. It missed some of it. No big deal. Come on. There we are. Get a little bit of glue on there. I always like to kind of start. Here's where you need to go between there and there. So if you go start here and then go this way first, and you go that way, kind of manipulate the glue so you get all that glue underneath there. And what I'm doing, I'm starting here, and as I'm going like this, I'm rotating the stick towards this way. Don't do it that way, because you'll just make the paper loose or come apart. Okay, block. We go burnishing this down. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that first video was boring. It was just to show you how to make the drawings. Maybe get an idea how you can make, or design your own stuff. Got the other end of that stick against my chest, so it makes it easier to hold on to this thing and then get the end of this. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that on here. Now what you're going to do is take this 5.5 incher, put that back on the stick. I don't know if you got that or not. And then I'm going to butt this up. Try and keep it, just for neat's sake, I got this seam going across here. I lined it all up. And that's all nice and tight. Okay, now we need to make, see, the paper rolls this way. This is not really critical. Okay, I'm just gonna eyeball that. As you can see, when you're folding the paper that way, it's harder to, but I'm just gonna make a strip. Like that. Okay. Oh, I got my 80 now. Okay, that just makes it tearing that. Sometimes licking your fingers, you can get a better grip. Don't overdo that. Never do that on the skin. There we go. Let's see. How wide is that strip supposed to be? It's on here somewhere. Thrust ring. Maybe I didn't put one on here. I think it's in there on another page. Anyway, let's see. That might as well make it the same. We already have this measurement down, so that's 4.18 something blah blah like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Some of this stuff's not even going to show. Okay, so I'm going to make this the same as the width. Get it started like that. Okay, just like that. Okay, put a little glue on there just to get it started like that. Okay, this is one way of doing it. Like I said, I'm just eyeballing this one. Let's see if it's straight. Okay, good enough for me. Now, don't put that on top of the glue you already have on there. This is just to keep the glue. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to go roll that on there like that. Like that. Try not to get glue on your cutting mat. Oops. Okay. This is just to join the tubes. Okay. You can or cannot if you don't want to burnish that down, but careful, don't go, if you go off the edge and come back, it'll rip. Okay, there we are. All right, just like that. Give it a few minutes, a little bit tight, but it's okay. All right. That was the motor tubes. All right. Don't forget to clean up the mess. But this will be the first assembly in the series. The motor tubes and the nose cone. Okay, let's see. Careful, you don't squeeze that, and then when it comes off the edge, you don't crush the. Just be careful getting that off of there. Okay, that is the part that's inside of here. Okay, and that is going to go up in the nose cone. It was made on purpose too long, but we'll trim that down later. Okay, so there you have it, the motor tube. Pretty cool. Huh. Okay, that's it for today's build. Got motor tubes built, nose cone tubes. All right. Okay, that's it for today. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys on the next episode in part 3, where I'll be showing you how to make the bulkheads and gluing them on these tubes here. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and smash that like button. And we'll talk to you next time on The Gadget Man.